It was in about 6.
Family man, I've learned how to take responsibility, to own up for what I do.
Man, Up's done a lot for me. I'm happily married. I never hurt my wife again. The relationship I've had with my wife, now it's beautiful.
I'm now drug and alcohol free, and out of the 6 children, I have 3 children that's come back.
I'm violent free. I'm happily married.
Everything is gone for me. I'm totally a new man, and I really love Man Up. It's changing me.
I'm a lot happier with my life. I actually love myself so that I can love others, especially my family.
Clean off crime, start on a new life, coming to church, praying, slaying. That's my life now, is just help out our community.
Man up to Tangata. There's actually a brotherhood here for you. If you're struggling out there, we're here to help you.
Open up, bro. It's great to have you on board tonight, live on Facebook. Here we've got a great show with you tonight, so look forward to interacting with you tonight. Open Up Bro, it's been going now. This is our 5th episode and been going really well, really successful. And we're really happy that you're on board with us here tonight. And we have got a really great topic that we're going to be talking about. I'm very fortunate to have some great men, quite a few men actually tonight, that are going to come on the panel. So don't turn off, don't switch off. Time to share now and let other whānau know that we're live right now, because we're touching the subject of manhood, fatherhood, but particularly around validating our children. That's right, validating our children, their identity, their purpose, the words that I love you. So those things are going to come through very strong. And, you know, every man that speaks tonight in his own right, his testimony is very powerful. His life change and the things that he's had to come through and overcome to be able to have a healthy relationship with his children today. So that's what it's going to be about tonight. So I'm really happy to have our panel on board with us. So welcome, brothers, Ross, Temple, Jason, Dave, and Simon. So we're going to come back to you very shortly after this AV. Check this out.
It was in about September of 2016 where, as everything in the House of Destiny, the heart, listening to the heart of our man of God, our bishop, who ultimately is the visionary of all that we're doing and whatnot. And I was sitting there listening to a meeting one time, and it was on a Monday evening. I think it was a Mighty Meeting Man, I think, or something. And he just happened to make a mention about, he spoke about bar mitzvah actually, which was a Jewish sort of ceremony that happens between the fathers and the sons. But then he started to go on and talk about how important it was for every father to validate their son. And then amazingly, the whole man up model, you know, just absolutely brilliant, which focuses on us as men first and foremost to get us right, get us solid, get us strong. And then obviously from there, it's got to go to the next stage, which is between father and son, father and daughter. And we're going to get to that bit as well, but for now it's around the fathers and sons and just the importance of that.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad that you've joined us here tonight on Open Up Bro. And as I said, our topic tonight is validation of our children, affirming their identity, their purpose, the words that I love you to our children, men that rediscovering that love that they want to not only install but continue to nurture our children in that positive environment. So very blessed to have the panel here tonight with us, and we're going to get straight into it because we've got a lot of great men that want to tell us about their experiences with validating the children. Beautiful. So, kia ora everybody, welcome aboard. Yeah, great to have you on board tonight, guys. Great to be here. We'll get straight into it tonight. Dave, look, you're the founder. You've started this program. Yeah. Look, Dave, why did you start the ValourDate program?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a father. I'm also a grandfather, so, you know, my family is important to me in building those relationships. We started it because we wanted to create an opportunity for every man, mentor, whatever, to have their children to experience some things together that they might not normally do on an every day or every weekend. So we wanted to create an opportunity for them to be able to build strong relationships together, have a great time together, and start a real good foundation between father and son. I run a Man Up group, and one of the things here that we've found through the whole Man Up model is that one of the common denominators of a lot of our men, especially those ones that have gotten into a bit of trouble or whatnot, was that they all said the one thing, that there was a breakdown between father and son. It was their daddy. They all basically 99% of men says that that was one of the major problems in their life. So the reason why we started the whole ValourDate camp was to now begin to build something solid between father and son. and strengthen our sons by creating an opportunity for them and a start for them, a beginning point for them, a foundation point for them, where from there they could go on and get a few keys, get a few tools to then build something solid with their sons.
That's
So
awesome.
That's what I mean.
Hey, look, if you tuned in tonight, look, we would like you to put your questions up at any time that you hear any of the comments or statements that we're making. Put your comments up, questions, and at the end of this show, we'll have a panel to answer those questions for you. Hey, Temple, good to have you on board.
Thank you.
I've known you for a long time, and you know, you taking your son to the ValourDate camp. You know, I mean, why did you have to go?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's because I love my son. His name's Rico, and we had missed the first rotation, and I didn't hear the end of it. So I ensured that I got along to the second rotation. Now, I partially thought, oh, you know, it may not be for me, but, you know, we'll just get there and experience it anyway. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll go along to inspire and empower some of the men there. And turns out it turns out it was very much for me. I went along, I got inspired, I got empowered, and my son and I have never been closer. And he's only 10 years old, but here I am thinking, he's in the house with me, he's rolling with me everywhere, whether it's out to sport or, you know, anywhere. And I'm thinking that's quality time, but I realised that I hadn't necessarily been spending quality time with him. And now he's arrested me as soon as I walk in the door from work, from wherever I come home from, and we engage and we sit, we talk, and we put things down, and we just talk about life, and I just so love it.
So Temple, you know, I've seen some of your posts on Facebook. You know, you're quite proud of the ValourDate program, and so would you encourage other men to, you know, get on board with their sons as well?
Definitely, I encourage all men, you know, to get along to the ValourDate program. I know for many of you, as I just shared earlier, you may think it's not for you, and I'm in proximity of all these men, you know, and it should have been for me initially, and I found out it was. So, you know, I encourage all men to get along to it. Just get there. It's for your son's future, for your future moving forward. There's a gap that we've sort of, there's been an empty void there that we've missed through our own fathers. Don't rob your son of that experience of coming closer and getting to know you and being validated by you and just speaking life into him and just loving him for the young man that he is. So, it's great.
Who wouldn't want Temple as a dad right now?
Father to many?
Jason, thank you. Jason, before ValourDate camp, did you spend quality time with your son?
Yep, that's a straight up no. When you say quality, I found out through the ValourDate camp, you know, what quality is with your son. And there's particular activities there, especially the one where we get together for an hour, just one-on-one with your son. And you find out, you know, a bit more about him, and just getting to know each other, what you love about each other. And yeah, to tell you the truth, I can't remember when I've done that with my son. Just an hour with him.
Yeah, so you know, from the ValourDate camp, do you now you want to now make that time for your son?
It's a biggie.
Something you've learned?
Yeah, it's always in the back of my mind now. We've actually set a date through a certain activity. You know, we've all set a date with our sons. And, you know, it's there. We're reminding each other too, you know, when it's going to happen, what we're going to do. So there's a bit of
a program in the ValourDate camp that helped you and your son plan these activities?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the highlight for me, for my son and I, Ephraim, I hope he's watching. Hey, son. But yeah, highlight really of the program was where the ceremony we validate your son, and that was just speaking into his life, you know, how much I need him, and he's been chosen for a particular reason in life and for other people, and I needed to connect that one-on-one and put it out there to him.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Yeah, brilliant. Simon, how did the ValourDate camp impact on you personally?
Well, I think one of the things that surprised me was because you're in that environment where it's father-son, everyone is father-son, you're constantly thinking about that. And with that, I started thinking about my own father. And my father wasn't there much when I was younger. And I'd actually kind of written him off. I mean, I love my father, don't get me wrong, I love him. Yeah. But I had all of those memories that were there were just negative. And then what I found through this environment and the atmosphere, because you're thinking about that, I I found these beautiful memories of my father, which I had forgotten about. And I realised that hearing these other stories, I realised he actually did the best he could with what he had, and in his mind, he was awesome compared to his father. And for me, it restored, and I actually had a healing of relationship with my father. So I was surprised, because I was going there for my son to have fun and fall in the mud and stuff. But that was just the tip of the iceberg before other stuff happened. Yeah, it was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. And since attending the ValourDate camp, how has it helped you improve your own family dynamics?
Well, surprisingly, I mean, there's been some interesting interactions, because when you come back from this camp, you're quite raw. You've been physically, you know, you just go hard till you drop or break something. And
physically what?
Yeah. There was someone involved in that, but as well as that, emotionally, because what I wanted to do, once I knew when the ceremony was, I wanted to get myself to an entirely vulnerable state, because I wanted to be as real as I could with my son. I didn't want any logic, I just wanted heart, and that's what I felt came. But when we've come back, there's been conversations just in this short week when my wife said, "You've changed. What's changed? What happened at their camp?" Not in a bad way, in a great way. And with that too, when I see my children, I stop now. And I give them time, and I even found the other night I was praying for my son, and sometimes I can do the tick box, pray, go to sleep, awesome, my time. But this time, the other night I was praying with my son, and it was such a rich, deep, thoughtful prayer that I even surprised myself. And I prayed with him, and I thought, man, that's how it should be. You know, so there's been amazing impact even in my marriage. Yeah, fantastic. Really awesome.
Ross, finally to you, my friend. Ross, why do you think it's important to validate your children?
Well, straight up for me, brothers, it is so important to validate your children, because if you don't do it, someone else will. You know, and that person that will do it does not have the best intentions for your children, does not have the best intentions for what's going on in their lives, and really doesn't know just how special they are. You know, for myself, I wasn't validated until 1 week before my father passed away. You know, where he actually confessed out his mouth to the nurse just how special he thought I was. You know, and then a week later he passed. So it was really big for me when they've come to me, you know, with this program, and I just thought, you know, this is something that needed to be done.
So you're actually with Dave. You're actually, you know, the assistant that actually helps Dave coordinating the programs, and you've done three camps already. And you know, how do you validate your son? I mean, just talk us through it quickly.
Well, to validate your son is quite simple. You just pour your heart out to him. You know, just how special he is, just how much you love him, just how much you care for him, the plans that you have for him. You know, you got, like the brother said, you know, speak life into his life. You know, because he needs to hear these things. Because if he doesn't hear them from you, he's going to hear them from someone else.
And that's something you can do all the time, eh?
And
not just in one. Hey, it's something we should be doing all the time with our kids. Constant reminder of how great they are, how important they are. It's got to change a young man and build a young man, isn't it?
That's right. Thank you guys for opening up, and this highlights something for all of us as men and as fathers, stepdads, uncles, granddads, mentors, all those roles that we actually play as men. It's not too late to learn. It's not too late to start again. It's never too late to you know, rekindle that fire relationship with your children. And I think it's really, that's the manhood side of us, of being able to step up. And step in, as you would say, Dave, in the ValourDate program. Just show us that T-shirt just quickly there.
This is a ValourDate,
you know, something we're very proud of. Look, what I would like to do before we leave is just sign off like this, thanking Jason, thanking Simon, thanking Ross, and thanking Temple for opening up on our show. We're going to go to an AV, and we'll come back to you very shortly.
Coming into the ValourDate camps has been, it's just totally different than probably what I would have expected. The key thing that encouraged me to come here was my son, actually. My son was really excited, and every time he walked past me, he'd go, "Dad, ValourDate's coming up," and I didn't really know what to expect. But since I've been here and what I've heard and what I've seen, it's blown my mind. Just seeing the connection between fathers and sons, and learning about the value of time, and not just sitting in a room watching a movie or anything like that, like face to face, I love you, I love this about you, and just getting to know my son better and making him the most important part of that time. So it's been beautiful, and I think going forward this has such a huge impact on the next generation and the real connection between fathers and sons. But it's beautiful, just amazing, and the best is yet to come. Looking forward to the ceremony tonight. It's going to be amazing.
It's for life change, really, turning point for me and my son. I know it's going to be life changing when we leave here. Already we're bonding, so better than we do at home. Just doing activities together, just one-on-one, just focusing on each other. I just love that, and I don't do enough of it. So I'm looking forward to at the end of this, and then further on in the future. And I'm expecting us to bond even more, father and son, strong and tight, rather than me being too busy for him, and him missing out on my validating him really for the future in his life. So that's pretty much, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Came along to the ValourDate today, and it's an awesome experience. Didn't expect much, but what I've got from here is some quality time with my son, and yeah, some good tools to use in the future to, I guess, strengthen the relationship between me and him. Yeah, no, I highly recommend it to anyone else who's kind of thinking along the same lines.
To break the bloodline curse, because you know, growing up, I had no father, I had no role model fathers. They just came in and out of my life. So, you know, my father was Jesus. So I want to be the father that I have to be for this little fella, my boy, and for what I didn't have, which was my father, my biological father. He wasn't there for me. He never told me he loved me. We didn't do these sort of things. So in saying that, that's what I want to do for my little guy, is step up to the plate, be the rangatira that I need to be for him, and so on, his children, and so on and so on. And what rubs off in me, hopefully will rub off in him. No, I'm not hoping, it's going to. But like I said, look, I got a wonderful word from our elder to Dave last night, and it's about investing in our children. You know what, I believe that the Lord has inherited, that we have inherited from God, to use, to be, to have, and to stay. Kia ora.
Yeah, welcome back, Open Up Bro. Here we are on our live set tonight, and we've been opening up about a very strong topic around fathering, validating our children, telling our children we love them, rekindling that fire of passion towards spending, you know, not just time but quality time. That was our first segment. Just really grateful that the brothers were opening up about their transitions and changes that they're making in their life. So I'm joined by a great panel again. We've got new panelists here with us tonight. Some of the brothers have joined us on the Open Up Bro show. So kia ora Jason, Jacob G, Jacob T, and Howie. So kia ora brothers, welcome on the set tonight. As we've been talking about validating our children, we're all in some ways an influencer, as a male influence in our families.
Yes,
so
yes.
Howie, just to you, my brother, just a question, you know, Howie, how has the ValourDate camp helped you in the role of a stepdad?
I think it's helped me because me being raised by a stepfather myself, he never validated me or nothing, and what he really just didn't say nothing, didn't really say he loved me or anything. So you know, like the saying goes, what walks in the father runs in the son. So when I had my stepchildren with me, I sort of didn't pay no attention to them and all that. And after the ValourDate campaign, it's made me communicate with them more. It's made me actually treat them like children and that. And just last week, you know, we had a big falling out. And usually when we have our falling out, I'm just attack. But this last week, we all got together around the table, and you know, we had our own little Open Up Bro session
where I got my children to, you know, open up their dislikes and likes about not only me but their mother as well, and how we can change to, you know, to make each other feel more comfortable around the house, you know. And that after having that meeting, you know, everything's just been awesome, you know.
Never too late to break the cycle. Just because you were raised in a certain way doesn't mean it has to continue.
And that's what this, you know, what's really beautiful about what we're doing, is we're breaking that cycle, and we're breaking those generational cycles. I grew up around it thinking it was normal not to validate your children, you know, but it's time for me as a father to make a stand, and like, but I no longer call them stepchildren, you know.
Take a step out, eh?
Yeah, take the step out. They're my children, you know.
Beautiful.
Delete the step.
Delete the step. It's father.
That's it, brother. Howie, what was the highlight for you at the ValourDate camp?
Shucks. That whole weekend basically was mean in itself. But me and my son actually, we stayed up till 1 o'clock till 1 o'clock that morning on the first night, and you know, he just said to me, you know, I've got a new dad. You know, I love my new dad. You know, because I was always drunk around him, and like I was always violent towards him. You know, and like that weekend, because I used to tell my son I loved him all the time, but I never showed it. I never once showed it to my son, but that weekend I actually said it and showed it. And he's just happy that the fact like I'm with Man Up. You know, he loves the fact that I'm with Man Up, and he also loves the fact that I'm drug and alcohol.
Important to back up, not just words. The action, so it's a whole package, isn't it?
Bit of action, bit of action,
Yeah, thanks, Howie. That's inspirational, brother. Jacob T. Jacob, what do you think is the most important thing that you can give your son?
It's time. You know, time and you know, just being at the ValourDate camp, I really caught that. You know, in the atmosphere, man, and how precious that is. You know, to invest that time in your children, especially your sons. You know, not that the daughters are any less value, but to ValourDate at that time was about our sons. So you know. And there was actually a moment there where we done the camouflage card there with the exercises on there, you know, and me and my son, we took off into the truck and made a little bed in the back there, just popped open the back window, bro, you know, and just started to go through, you know, and I just didn't realise, because they're not very hard questions, they're really simple, but they took us into a place where, you know, I don't think I've ever been before with my son. You know, that intimacy, that connection. You know, I looked in his eyes one time, he looked back at me. You know, I just felt really proud to actually just be his dad. You know, and I like it, because we live in the same house, bro, you know, so I thought,
as we do,
you know, so I thought, you know, I spend a lot of time with my son. I see him every day, you know, hey, son, how you going? You know, I give him the I love yous and the hugs and all that, but there was something about that camp, man, and spending that time with my boy that we just got that connection, bro. You know, and I pulled that out of there. It's beautiful.
Totally focused,
Oh, bro,
put everything else aside. Just me and you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, I had time with him before, but there was always someone else in the room.
Yeah, that's right.
But that time actually there, man, we went past the time. I think we were in there an hour. You know, but we were like,
I thought you went for a feed.
Yeah, like I said, man, you just get lost in it, man. There's something so right about that. Spending that time with your boy, you know.
Yeah, look, Jacob, ongoing, you know, how are you going to continue building, you know, those lasting memories?
Man, you know, we gotta hang out, bro. You know, just the simple things, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be something flash. It's not about the money and stuff like that. I mean, even just going out for ice cream, but as long as it's just him and I, bro, you know, just connecting, a bit of a walk along the beach or something like that, or in the park, but just doing stuff that he likes. You know, it's not really about me, man. I mean, I can do anything, but you know, it's just that's how I think you're just gonna carry on that whole thing, and you know, just for your fun out there, you know. It's not about the money you spend on your children. I mean, they need that, and it's not about the things that you buy them. You know, for me, it's all about the time. You've got to get that connection with their children. Kill the fun.
Good word, Jacob. Good word. And while we're on the Jacob, is Jacob G over here.
All the Jakeys in the house, eh?
My son's name's Jacob G. It's the name you want to call yourself.
You got to catch up.
Jacob, look, you're not a father yet. Not that we know of. But you have attended the ValourDate camp, and why did you go along?
I went along because of your son, because of Jacob Warren. You know, he pushed it on me because he saw that there were 2 younger brothers in our youth house that didn't have fathers, who weren't raised from their fathers, or who didn't play that critical part in their life. And so he pushed me to go along to ValourDate camp and take these 2 younger brothers, you know, and as their leader, you know, I thought, you know, yeah, let's get alongside them, let's show them that support, and let's go and validate them, you know, to show them their purpose in life and to show them that they are born for greater things. I mean, yeah, who asked to validate them if they haven't got God as the centre? You know,
that's good, man.
If you haven't got God as your centre, you know, and if you're not validating them, then they're obviously going to turn to ones who will, you know, the gangs and the people out there.
Yeah, real talk, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Serious, man.
And how has the ValourDate camp, how did it impact you?
It had a major impact on me because as a teen or as a young kid, I was never validated from my father. And just going to the ValourDate camp and seeing the fathers validate their sons was very powerful because you know, that's what the sons want to hear. They want to hear their father tell them that they love them. They want to hear their father tell them that they're great and they have a great future ahead of them. You know, and just for me seeing that, you know, it opened up a whole new world for me. It also impacted me and the ones that I brought because it showed them that, you know, I'm not there to step in the place of a father, but I'm there to stand in the place where no one else would. I'm there to stand as a brother when they need me. So it's empowering them to be something great and for them to look up to someone, you know. And I'm here to stand with them and fight for them, you know, and I will continue that fight.
And everybody responds, everybody responds to being affirmed of their worth. Like you weren't even the dad, you're just the brother. But I was there at that ceremony and I saw those young men just change, just to have those words spoken into you. I'm with you, I'm here, you know, you're valuable, those types of things are powerful.
Well, even on that note, you know, I'm going there, you know, you yourself, you know, I got validated, and for me, just to hear those words from your mouth just gave me, you know, more fire, gave me more fuel and more passion, you know, just to show that these young ones out here that there are brothers out there for you who will stand in that place and just push them further for something greater. So that's what fueled me. It gave me fuel.
So Dave, I remember you've said to me before that there's 2 statements, there's step up and step in. Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ultimately what Jacob was saying, we want the fathers to step into their role, biological father and son. And, you know, if you are a dad out there, then what we're saying is step up. Take your relationship with your son to another level. Do something great. Build on the relationship where you are. If you're in a home and the dad isn't there, biological father isn't there, we talked about stepdad today, big brother, over here, uncle, grandfather, whatever the relationship is, even if you know of a young man that doesn't have that affirmation from a fatherly figure, then step in. So it's about stepping up or stepping in on behalf of what Jacob has done.
Amazing. Thank you. Jason, over to you, my bro. So Jason, did you think you needed to go to the ValourDate camp?
To be honest, no, I didn't.
I think you were supposed to say yes.
It was only because of this guy here.
Another one.
Jacob's in the Dames, bro.
Kept pounding me. You know,
lots of excuses, yes.
Anyway, the only reason why I done it was to tick a box, basically. I says, I'll keep this guy happy, and I'll go along to the ValourDate camp. So anyway, that's how I came about coming to the ValourDate camp, and it basically blew my mind.
You can thank me now.
I've already paid you.
Not live.
Anyway, it just blows your mind. The things that go on, during the ValourDate camp. I've always told my sons, you know, that I love them and you know, give them the information. But it's hard to explain the actual the whole camp.
Well, Jason, thank you for your input, you know, and thank you to everybody tonight that's you know made some comments and really opened up, because you know that's what we're about, you know, and men and families out there tonight that maybe going through the struggle and not having a male influence in the home. There's always somebody around, you know. There's definitely an uncle. There's somebody that can either, as Dave says, you know, step up or step in. So look, Dave, I've got some quick fire questions for you, just as we wrap up now. And Dave, is the camp for any fathers? Can any father come along to this?
Oh, look, absolutely. It's for any dad. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you're doing. This camp is open for anybody. Anybody can register. Anybody can come on board. And like what Howie said, it's never too late. You know, you want to begin to build something strong with your son. Come along.